Hey, how's it going, YouTube? I'm coming back to you with another unboxing or unbagging video here. I got a little package that I got. I know it contains some sort of silver item, so I'm gonna get right to it and open it up here. Appreciate you all commenting. It's pretty cool to get interactive in the silver stacking and coin collecting communities. You know, it's kind of an isolated hobby unless you go to shows and things like that. Anyway, and you get down these wormholes of looking at things really closely and you know, getting into the history of coinage and precious metals and you know the economy, etc. So this actually is duct taped. It's kind of amazing. And maybe I'll save this stuff in case the zombie apocalypse comes tonight. And just, you can always use duct tape, MacGyver something with it, right? So anyhow, here's the items. And some sort of packing slip, and that's it. This was a lot of some Barbers. I have a collection of sort of constitutional silver. I guess it's a collection of constitutional silver. I like the older US stuff, so the older it gets, the less of it I have, the less items, you know, typeset, series, things like that. So I do have some capped bust type of, you know, half dime, dime, quarter, and half dollar, and then, you know, and 20-cent piece in the seated variety, you know, around that time, and then seated half dimes, dimes, quarters, and then up into the Barber stuff. And you know, that's where my collection really you know, progressively becomes you know, a greater volume of different coins in each series. And then you know, you get up into the, you know, the more current and modern coinage, I guess is what you'd call it, and that I just hold on to, pretty much trying to get stuff in really good condition at pretty close to a melt value for the coinage. And sometimes I have things, you know, that round out a collection. So guys, the first thing I want to start with out of this lot is the 1969 S. I'm almost embarrassed to say that I bought this for $5. It's a penny. Okay, it's a cent, but it stated that it had a double motto somewhere in the description. And so for me, I thought, you know, I just about have to pick that up to see if that's the case, because if so, it's a rarity and nobody else was bidding on it. And he had kind of a $5 minimum opener. I do see the doubling on the motto. Amazing. There is doubling. I have got to take this out and show you guys a closer look. I mean, I'm just kind of, you know, this is one of those I might actually send in and spend the dough. If you see the "In God We Trust" there's definitely doubling under the W there, under the E, under the O, the G, the D, and the T and the R. I mean, very clearly doubled. Very, very clearly doubled. This is a 1969 S. I don't know if the date right there is also doubled. There is some scratching that you can see in the field. So, you know, condition wise, this is probably not going to grade out tremendously, but there is definitely doubling there. Anyhow, so the next thing up is a 1999 O Barber quarter. I did not have one of these in my collection. This one is in, you know, decent shape. So if I can get this for a couple dollars over spot to kind of fill a hole, that's what I look to do. You know, it's probably G or G minus, I would think. I don't know. The mint mark's clear. You can make out all the lettering. There is some wear on the right side, but it hasn't totally destroyed the lettering. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is. So you have a hole in your collection, you know, you have a hole in your collection, you want to, like, you know, put something like this and fill it. So anyway, here's those two. The next thing I've got up is a 1905 S Barber quarter, kind of the same thing. This is one of those lower mintage. I did not have one of these in my collection, so I went ahead and saw one at an auction that was a couple dollars over spot price, and I said, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and see if my bid holds up, put a bid in, And if I win, I end up with a filler. The lettering around the edge is kind of worn, but the mint mark is pretty clear. And so, that'll go in my book and basically fill a hole that is there right now. The next one is a 1915S. I think it's only probably a G+, but you can kind of see the wreath around around her head. I always want to say he, because to me the profile on this looks like a man, but it's probably like the designer's wife or something. That's what they usually used to do, right? So they would take there was some romantic tie to the imagery, but anyway, a fair looking guy, but just a little manly. I don't know why. Thick neck, maybe the fact that there's no hair coming down, it's just a cap. And maybe that's supposed to be a man. I don't know. Little hair up front. You have the wreath. Anyway, you can clearly make out the S mint mark. So this is a 15. That's in a lot better shape. So, that one's actually really nice. It just happened to be that I didn't have this. It was in with the other stuff. So I figured, I'm going to save a little on shipping. If I pay a little more for the coin, that's okay. But, pretty neat pickup there. The next thing is a 1904S Barber half. Again, I did not have this. All of these coins were ones that I did not have. Again, you can't make out the letters in Liberty, which is usually what you're looking for as a sign of grading quality. So anything that doesn't have the Liberty letters on it, which is usually where they get worn off, I think drops down to a G or less grade. So, it's kind of what you're looking at here. But the 1904S is a nice item. You kind of have a lower mintage that year. Now that we're into the halves, I'll go ahead and give you guys just an idea of where they book. The 1904S, there was only 550,000 of these things made, and they book out at $48. This particular coin in G4 grade lists at 48. So, my rule of thumb is that if I could pick it up for about a quarter to a third of what it says in the red book, that I'll go ahead and do that. And so what you'll see here is, that's the price on the 04S. It's just down there at the bottom. It says the mintage. If this graded a little bit higher, it jumps 3 times that to about 150 bucks. Anyway, that's sort of what I look at to gauge, outside of like a melt value, what you have on something like this from a collectability standpoint. And specifically for me, if I don't have one, then I want to try to put one in my collection. Same thing here, 1892. I actually do have a couple of 1892s. However, this one showed up for just the right price. It's the first year that the Barber half was issued. There's no mint mark, just a regular 1892. But you're talking about a 130-year-old coin here, or thereabouts, 125-year-old. So to have something like that, and definitely, anytime you're putting a series, a set, a collection together, the first in the set is going to be an important one, maybe harder to find than some of the other stuff. So, for a couple dollars over spot, it's a pretty cool collectible. And then the 1905S, and this one, again, like the 04S, I thought was just in really super nice condition. Another of the, years that are less common. And this one says G+, so yeah, let's say it might be G4. It doesn't have the Liberty, but everything else is visible. Even some of the teeth around the edge of the rim, which usually get worn smooth, and the motto E Pluribus Unum is in there. So you've got an 05S, a 1962 proof. And it said scratched, so I went ahead and put a bid in on this particular coin, even though it said scratched on it, and it looks like it is on the right hand side. I can't really tell. I'm going to take it out of the flip. A lot of times you get the plastic that's scratched, and sometimes these folks even think when they're selling the stuff that the scratch is on the coin, but actually it's on the plastic. But no, this one is actually pretty scratched up. It looks like it was moving around a lot with something else next to it. So now that it's out of the flip, you guys can see all the scratching. The back is nice. You've got full bell lines. You've got Really good detail in the back on the back of the coin, etc. It's nice. So I went ahead and decided I would go for a bid on this one, and what I did is I entered a bid that was 50 cents below melt value of the silver in this coin, and no one else bid on it. So I got a 62 proof. It's scratched, but you know, below the melt value the day that I bought it, or at melt value, I guess, the day that I bought it. So pretty cool. So that's a nice little pickup here from penny to, you know, 3 Barber quarters, 4 very collectible halves. You know, one of them a proof in kind of okay condition, but you know, at a good price. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember to like and subscribe. Write your comments, tell me what you guys think. You know, I enjoy hearing from you, and we'll comment back, or you know, engage in a little conversation about what you think of these things. Anyway, until next time, guys, Value Hunter out.